Ultra memories that keep us blind. Static on the screen, voices we don't see. Dumpers got us wired, but we're breaking free. They're watching, they're waiting, with eyes in the sky manipulating. They silence the screen.
Smartly Uneducated, everybody. We have a good episode today. I'm very excited about it because we are going to be doing psychological warfare, kind of like a little, really emphasizing on modern times, everything that's going on and how they've pretty much advanced it. And it's not like a Cold War kind of spy movie narrative anymore. It's actually something that's constantly being pushed on everyone, and we're all part of the game. And that's just how it is. So I think talking about it's a really good idea. And in fact, that was my co-host's idea, was to do the psychological warfare episode this week.
Yes, it is. Hello.
Whoa.
I'm Evan. I'm not Firefox. Ignore the Firefox window in the screen. How is everybody doing tonight? Today, people seem to think that we're going to have a good episode. I'll tell you right now, Ben. We'll have the best episodes every time. The mindset here is we have the best. At all times, some say we have the best. I know we have the best. And if you come to this studio thinking that we're going to have a good show, you better think again, mister. Because we have the best, dude. If it ain't the best, they're probably going to watch Alex Jones. But hey, we're on Twitter now too, y'all. We're on X. Sorry. Elon, I'm still getting used to the name change. Forgive us.
Yeah, please.
Those of you who are viewing us, thank you so much for joining us. And if you are a fan who have been following us for a while, I know I posted on our socials that we'll be starting at 4 o'clock. We are an hour late, but that is because we have renovated our studio and we had to get some of the lighting ready, some of the things set up in the studio that we couldn't foresee, even though we started an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. So thank you so much for bearing with us. But hey, we're here now. We're here to get down and dirty and grilly. Grilly? What does grilly mean? That's a new phrase for everybody, huh? But yeah, so I want to start us off by talking about Rand Paul's Festivus reports that he puts out every year, because I know Elon is starting the Doge part of the government office, Department of Government Efficiency, and he's talking about all these things he wants to cut, which I'm a huge fan of, especially after reading some of these reports.
Yeah.
It is asinine, the amount of things that we're putting our American money towards. Some of these things are
taxpayer money.
Some of these things are fucking retarded.
Yeah. Oh, there was one on there that was in the list that was like something about what was some video game or something with Minecraft.
Yeah.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. I'll have to find that one specifically. But there's one here from the Festivus reports, thanks to Rand Paul, and this is the waste of 2022. This is the report for researching if Thanos could actually snap his fingers wearing the Infinity Gauntlets. America, this is where your money's going. It's $118,971.
Yeah.
That's more money than most Americans make in an entire year.
By far. I think is the average household, and don't quote me on this, but I think the average household in America is like 55 or around 50 to 60,000 is the average household income right now. And then when you look at what
64,000.
Okay, so I was close. So with that being said, it's the cost, you take, how much that person's making, that family household, 64,000, and you look at the cost of it. If I was living off of 64,000 where I live right now, and don't get me wrong, yeah, we have like a studio and stuff like that, but this is like bare bones. Like, I made this myself with pennies, and we're free.
And it's 4 years in the making.
And it's 4 years in the making. But if I was living off of $64,000 a year in my household right now, I was the only source of income, we would no longer have a house.
Yes,
we would lose our house.
Me as well.
Yeah, dude, I'd lose my car too. I'd lose one of my vehicles at least. So yeah, it's ridiculous.
So our debt is really bad in America, right? Trillions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guess how much we pay in interest on that every year? And who are we paying? Who are we paying this interest to?
Federal Reserve, baby.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah. The entity that says federal.
Take a guess.
It's not us.
Take a guess how much money we pay in interest to them every year.
Well, what's the number based on? What's the rough number estimate again?
Of our $1 trillion debt?
It's like
45 trillion or some crazy number.
I would imagine it's billions of dollars in interest.
Take a wild guess.
I would say high billions in interest.
Give me a number.
Let's say,
Wrong. $475 billion.
dude, I was about to say 500 billion is what I was
Really
about
close.
to say. Wow, I'm on
Yeah,
point.
$475 billion. Granted, that's because we're incredible debt to this evil entity, Federal Reserve, the Jekyll monster, if you will. So, keeping that in mind, we have 77,000 empty federal buildings.
Mhm.
We are paying $1.7 billion in the year 2022 to just maintain those buildings.
Yeah.
Stop maintaining them, or rent them out, or sell them. Get rid of them.
Yeah. No shit.
What are we doing? Why are we paying $1.7 billion to AC this building? It's insane. Truly insane.
Oh yeah, dude. So I intentionally did not bring that up to you. that narrative, like, just because I was in the mindset of psychological warfare. So I wasn't going to bring it up, but you brought it up. But when I read that list of all like the costs of like what they're using our money for, bro, I'm not going to lie. I was like, so you're telling me that you guys are just not, we already knew that they were wasting taxpayer money, but the fact that they are wasting on that random stupid shit.
That's not even the worst.
And then on top of that, you got these stupid, the immigration crap where they're just housing thousands upon thousands upon thousands, millions of people. It's actually, is it in the millions now?
For immigrants? And
Yeah. Like
I'm
they're
unsure
being
of the
housed.
actual
I'm
number.
not sure of the actual number, but the fact that they're even doing that and they're wasting, using the money for them, and then the American, the average American citizen is nothing in the government's eyes.
No.
If you think the government's your friend, you're fucking wrong, and allow us to always prove you why you're wrong.
I just want to
So
read,
anyways,
I just
go
want to
ahead.
fast read off like lightning round some of these in 2022. Then I'll switch over to 2023, which is more relevant. And I cannot wait for Rand Paul's 2024 Festivus report to come out, y'all. It's very exciting for me. I'm a big fan of this stuff as of recently. So here we go. We have watching hamsters fight on steroids, $3 million. Injecting 6-month-year-old beagle puppies with cocaine, $2.3 million. Encouraging Ethiopians to wear shoes, $2.1 million.
I forgot.
Training mice to binge drink alcohol, $1.1 million.
Can I just say that's pretty tight, dude?
That is pretty sweet.
That is pretty tight.
Verifying that kids love their pets, $1.87
Verifying that kids love their pets.
$187,000.
So if you ever thought the government was retarded, now you know.
Think again.
Now you know again. My God.
And now I'm going to switch over to the 2023. This one makes me mad a little bit. Not going to lie. Improper federal payments,
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
paying the wrong people the wrong amount of money. $236 billion.
Yeah, but does it say who they're paying?
Nope. Well, I'm sure it does on the actual document as I read further down. I'm just reading like the index of everything.
Okay, but say I didn't get through every little layer, but I started to go through it and I just got ferociously mad doing it.
The Department of Defense bought a lobster tank, $9,000.
What?
Why do they need that?
Big ass lobsters.
Some
dude.
tasty lobster, dude.
Or it's the crab people, and they're guising it as a lobster tank, and really, then in the background, they got the crab.
Giving monkeys meth.
Really, you're not even gonna go with that reference? You even know what I'm quoting?
I want to go through
It's
these.
South Park.
I want to go
Come
through
on.
these so that we can get into psychological warfare.
I
with
know.
our fans
I'm
out
having
here.
fun with it too, because you said lobster tank, and to be honest, that's crab people. Dude.
It is definitely
It's a
crab
front
people.
for crab people. That's where Queer Eye for the Straight Guy came from. We all know it. Masto and Trey Parker called it first. Love those guys. Anyways,
They're just trying to keep their crab alien friends happy in the nice lukewarm salty water.
Ew.
But that being said, they have meth head monkeys for $12 million. Gambling for drinking water for monkeys, $3.7 million. COVID-19 misinformation on social media in Black and rural communities, $3.8 million. Barbie doll photo used to get COVID PPP funds, $800 billion. I mean, we desperately need a way to fix what we're spending our money on. And if Elon's the answer, by all means. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the people that he's going to hire to do it, but we need somebody to go in there and be like, yeah, we're not going to buy you a Starbucks coffee machine for $900,000. Yeah, we're not doing any of that. We're not going to pay dead people anymore $38 million. We're not going to have Russian cats on a treadmill for $2.7 million. The idea that they think that it's important for us to learn these things. Why are they doing these? Are they doing it to use it on us? Are they doing it to benefit them in some fashion? If they need these studies to understand how our society and our humans work, us as humans, what is the value they're getting from this? Who needs to know how monkeys act on meth? We can just go look at a trailer park down the road and say, oh, wait, meth is not good. This is not a good thing. Come on, people. We need a little bit of guidance in our government. We need a little bit of help. And I think that the next few years might actually bring something to us. So stick with us. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be doing all sorts of live videos on X. We do it every single week, either Friday or Saturday. Every other week it's Friday. Every other week it's Saturday. Friday and Saturday alternating.
Mhm.
So stay tuned, subscribe, follow along. We got a lot of cool stuff coming along y'all's way. We've done MK Ultra. You can go to our YouTube, see, I think it's 65 episodes now of episodes we've done.
Oh, we have more than that.
So
on.
we have all sorts of stuff. So
Yeah, and if you don't like YouTube, jump over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
anywhere.
Rumble, all that fun stuff. But I'll ask a question and just kind of like push this forward because I'm going to push this into psychological warfare now.
Yeah, please do.
So, anyone who is listening right now, if you've, you ever feel like you're being messed with? Do you? Does any of you ever feel like you're being messed with at all? I mean, because more than likely, you are. And, some of these things is like, you could be like some of the stuff you see on your phone to, the crap we argue about at dinner or whatever, like some bullshit during your day, all these things. You think it's just normal day-to-day bullshit when really there's other things going around behind the background and things you visually cannot see that are actually manipulating your brain.
Mhm.
A lot of shit. And it's, at this point, especially now, as of today's date, there is more and more information out there now that is not being refuted and basically being confirmed across the board that all these different devices, everything from EMF to other forms of electronic frequencies, things like that, are intentionally being pulsated out at particular frequencies to literally make you get unhinged or make you feel sad or make you whatever. That is happening to us on a daily basis. So, for instance, here's a very good one before we start diving into like really going into like the big shit. So, you've had your phone in your pocket, right, Evan?
Oh, most days of my life.
Okay. Most days of my life.
Yeah, it goes everywhere with me.
So, and I'm sure if anyone's listening right now, I think we have like 4 views it shows. Any of you guys, you guys or gals listening here, if you've ever had your phone in your pocket and all of a sudden randomly you get those like the ghost vibration, right? And it makes you want to check your phone. That is technically within psychological warfare
Mhm.
because that's an actual, your phone is doing it. It's they're intentionally pushing these vibrations to kick off your phone to actually go off like that as if you got a text. And then you pull your phone out of your pocket and there's no notification, no nothing. It's just to get you to look at your fucking phone. And they do that intentionally. They're back in, what was it, 2000? I think it was Apple first got exposed with that bullshit back in 2000. I think it was like 2010
Yeah,
or 11.
I believe you're right.
Where people were like, oh, you're intentionally doing this with the phones. We thought it was like a glitch or like a mess up with your device. And they're like, oh, no, there's no mistake. That's not happening. You guys are just so used to having basically they chalked it up to you're just so used to having your phone in your pocket.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember what year it was, but it was a few years later. Probably like late 2010s going into like approaching 2020. We're talking more like 2018.
The late teens.
Thank you, man. The late teens. In the late teens,
Set the foundation.
thank you, buddy. Thanks, bud. In the late teens, going anywhere between 2015, 2020, somewhere in there, another thing happened. Basically, something transpired, and then they finally admitted that they do it intentionally.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay. And the thing is that if you do some deep diving into that, them admitting that they do it, if you do some deep diving into it, you actually find out that that was only implemented once they created some change in the contract that they had with the United States government. And all of a sudden that got implemented, and it was intentional, because what better way to keep you as a sheep in a herd if they make you stop focusing on anything that's around you in the real world, where you're always constantly pulling your phone out of your pocket to check, even if there's not something to check. That is just a light example.
Yeah, that's the bare
Yeah.
bones, right?
Yeah.
The gaslighting that the U.S. government does to us is extreme. The things that they make you think and do is unbelievable to a point of view to somebody who is just living their regular life. That's why we are trying to come here today to sort of expose it and sort of show you what happens whenever you become numb to all the propaganda and ads that are in your life.
Yep. And if you have any, if you're not 100% on what all encompasses, like what psychological warfare is, the best way to put it is, it's not like someone walking around at a city block handing out pamphlets, some type of propaganda bullshit. No, it's not like that. It's really just a very strategic tactic that's designed to just straight up mess with your head. That's all it's for. And, it can make you scared. It can make you feel, or it'd be like, maybe their prerogatives make you scared. They're gonna make you scared, make you compliant, or think, hey, this makes sense, when really the only reason why you think it makes sense is because they've groomed you to think that this particular thing makes sense. And when in reality, it's just manipulation on steroids.
Absolutely. Right.
That's all it is. Sorry. And it looked like you wanted to say something.
No, I was just listening to you intently. The creator, do you know who created the idea of psychological warfare on accident, mind you?
What's the name?
His name is Edward Bernays. He is a French man.
Damn French fucking things up for everybody.
He made some ads for different companies just to try to get people to entice it more. It started with like beautiful women and nice cars that they would have at the time, like 1920s ish is when it started to really coming around. And they were pushing a lifestyle through these advertisements and this idea. And it worked really well because people then started to take in these products. Coca-Cola, I can't think of the other ones, like
Pepsi.
cotton being useful and different things being helpful for society and moving
household
forward.
appliances, products, things
Absolutely.
of that nature, everything down to even movies. Hell, you had it kind of goes into it, is the World War II buy bonds and the old Daffy Duck cartoon.
That's funny you say that, because the Nazi Germans, they really used Edward Bernays' tactics during World War II.
Mhm.
They would take a fighter jet over top of a battlefield and drop paper bombs, where they would then have leaflets fly all over the battlefield to then confuse the soldiers through propaganda advertisements on the paper saying, "Oh, we're leaving. The Germans have left. The Germans are gone. The Germans are gone," and what have you. And then they would go into combat and then get shot.
Another, since you brought up World War II and brought
Camera.
up that part, another tactic, it was something the United States did. Now, this wasn't on American citizens. This was actually against, this is when D-Day was going on, right before D-Day happened in World War II. They had used balloons and like inflatables, and blew up all these things that look like an armada of like tanks and like all this equipment and soldiers, when really there was no one there. So they would think that they're getting ready over in this area here. And then they like duped them. And then overnight they just deflated everything, when really they were already, all the real people were already going.
Yeah.
They were already, approaching the beach, when really they were away. I think it was D-Day.
I think you're right.
I think it was D-Day, because they were trying to misdirect them. That's another form of psychological warfare, just used in a very particular way. It's like to dupe somebody, which plays into it, but that was on a militaristic side. and it definitely was not like what they do now. You know.
So there's a lot of different styles of using psychological warfare to manipulate your brain to make you want to do something or make you think a certain way, that everything's jolly, everything's bad, if you will. There's a lot of different ways to do that. Of course, they're going to use propaganda. That's their most stereotypical fashion is this side's good, this side's bad, everybody hate everybody else, or this sort of exercise is good for you when it doesn't do anything. This diet's good for you when it doesn't do anything. There's different sorts of propaganda. It doesn't all have to be war based, doesn't all have to be health based. It could be simply this gas station is better than this gas station. And they are going to manipulate you to have you think any sort of way that they really truly want you to think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important that if you are taking in your surroundings and you are living your day-to-day life, that you understand that these advertisements are attempting to take over your brain.
Yeah.
They want your brain space. That's the most valuable spot in the world is your brain. So I encourage you to read books, go outside, do different things, and watch Smartly Uneducated, because we're not going to try to take your brain away. We want you to think for yourself
Yeah.
and free the mind. Power to the people. Big supporter of that.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's disinformation, which has become a huge issue in today's society, based around AI and based around different ideals that you might have, religion or anti-religion, or what beer you should drink. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of different information, planting fake news or doctored evidence, creating doubt about the credibility of real information. That is how they're going to attempt to change your mind. So take everything with a grain of salt that you are hearing every single day, but still think for yourself.
You know, and I have some before I just jump right into tools. Like these are literal tools that they use on you, and these are devices. Like sound cannons, things like that. You won't even know that would be happening. Is that there's an actual name for it, and I'll get to it in a second. But before I just dive into all that, there was something I was about to say, but I just had a brain fart. It was going off of what you just said.
Disinformation and things of that like.
Oh yeah, so it's funny if you look at the time frame, because right now they're being exposed finally, like fully exposed across the board. Because one, before the pandemic happened in 2020, people were majoritively still watching mainstream media and believing it. Overall, the mass majority of the United States, they were watching it on some form of social media platform, whether it was local, Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or you name it, any one of them. But the moment pandemic happened, right? And then when did Elon buy Twitter again? Was it 2022 or 23? I think it was 22. I think. But it was
2017.
2017. So he bought it. And then the pandemic happened, which that itself got a lot of people start opening their eyes. And then some people learned the hard way because they bought into the bullshit about the virus and the vaccines and all that crap. And now they're all like, oh, wow, I don't believe them at all now. But the thing is, that was their biggest mistake, is by doing the pandemic. Because by doing the pandemic, people were not working as much by a lot, and everyone knows that. And people were, spending more time like watching movies or watching, browsing social media. And lo and behold, people started using X more often, because whenever Elon took it over, he got rid of all the bullshit, the biased leftist run nonsense and extreme left. I'll rephrase that, extreme leftist nonsense. And he made it to where it's actually a platform where there is actually free speech and people can actually put it proper information out there. And people have been tuning into X and starting to get more informed, because now they're actually getting it from sources that aren't the mainstream media outlets. And they're getting it from people who are doctors and things like that. That information is finally getting out. X was a turning point. I truly feel that X was a turning point in shifting the tables.
That's fair. I think
forward.
I think it was TikTok that really shifted the tables, because that's when people started to post their true feelings and their true emotions, because there was, whenever it first came around, it was so Wild West. It was a Chinese platform. Nobody really cared what was being put on there. And it's still sort of like that today, where it comes around to you're seeing a lot
They're
of
so censoring people on it. Like,
oh yeah, I know. I'll get to that, but like they're talking. You see UFO, you see people have conspiracies, and they're posting that up there all the time.
Mhm.
Where against like Instagram or Facebook, those things get taken down immediately. TikTok at least will let most of them go, but they will censor what they think is inappropriate, and a lot of the times it's simply going against their grain.
Mhm.
And so that is when people began to realize that X was the final frontier, if you will, the true platform for the people, the civilization, humanity. So
Okay, well then I'll reword what I just said about X and kind of drive the point home. It's kind of like if you watch a football game, you see that one running back. He always tries to get in the end zone when they're at the 10-yard line, but he always stops like 3 yards short. That's what TikTok was.
yeah, it
then,
was.
when it
exactly
first
right.
started. X, however, didn't do that. X said, "Fuck you, I'm walking through there," and he didn't play by the rules, and he just used a truck to drive through the lineman in the way, and then drove into the end zone and said,
Ben,
"Freedom, motherfuckers." You know. So, anyways, you ever heard of LRAD
I have not heard of that.
or LRA? Sorry, it's LRAD.
No, I can't say I have.
It stands for Long Range Acoustic Device. And this is something it's 100% real. You can look at this up. This is just one of many tools. Just so anyone who's listening, just so you know. Excuse me, dang, that beer, woo,
Yeah.
making me burp.
We're having a few beers over here today.
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock Central Time, so we're having a good old time.
Yeah. So I'm going to list off just 2 non-lethal weapons. These are considered, according to the public sphere, I'd imagine they're actually lethal if they wanted them to be. You know, there's probably different frequencies and tunes
Oh.
they could do, ways of using this that would be lethal. But supposedly these are non-lethal. So LRAD, so it's a long range, it stands for long range acoustic device.
Okay.
And it's basically just a giant sound cannon.
So
That's what it is.
Is it similar to the microwave weapons that they use?
It's very similar
Okay.
because this was birthed according to what I was searching for. Now, if you look at the results of what they got from MK Ultra and then also Project Pandora, if you're unfamiliar with Project Pandora, we did a full detailed episode on that and we didn't hold back any fucking punches.
No, we did not.
Go check that out. It's on our
All of our
social medias. So the results they got, the work that they made from those programs is why we have the long range acoustic device now. And what it does, so it basically blasts a high frequency noise to disperse crowds. And when I say noise, half the time you can't hear it. That's the kicker. They say it blasts this high frequency noise, and they use the word noise, just hence psychological warfare and manipulation. Noise is bullshit. It's fucking silent. When they use it against the United States citizens, which they have, remember Havana Syndrome?
Oh, absolutely.
All that shit. This type of device was used there.
Is it they use at airports to keep the birds away?
Keep the birds away?
Yeah, I know that they use a sort
Oh, my
of
bad.
frequency sound device to make sure that there's no animals or creatures trying to, or rather accidentally running into the plane's engines.
I have no idea.
That's got to be something similar to that.
Oh, I'm sure that there's some type of variation, but so basically what it will do is you blast this high frequency noise, hence noise. It's not really a noise. And just to disperse crowds, or it can make people sick and supposedly not kill anyone. Obviously, if you're applying it this way, yes, you wouldn't kill anyone if that's what you were attempting to do, but this thing has the capability of doing so much more. So it will make people sick. It can basically like you would suddenly feel like your brain is being scrambled. So let's say you were mad, right? Let's say you were out there. Let's say there's a giant protest.
Okay.
Let's just put this in the kind of like an applicable, metaphor or analogy. Let's say you're at a protest. Everyone's hooping and hollering. No one's being violent per se, but there's definitely unrest building
Gotcha.
in the group. And what they decide to do is use the LRAD, the long range acoustic device. And you all of a sudden, and same with everyone around you, not all at once, because why this doesn't affect everyone immediately across the board. You could see people stagger. So you could see one person just start losing their shit out of nowhere, and another person, and it will just be random, but it will all be pretty quickly after another. And that's because your body has its own frequency. And these frequencies, these high frequencies that they blast out from this sound cannon, if depending on what your frequency is, it may not affect you right away, but it eventually will. It's kind of like if you ever watch water and they play sound frequencies through water.
It's not immediate?
No, it's pretty fast.
Okay.
Like it's pretty fast. No matter what, it's going to hit you. But the question is when? Is it going to be 5 minutes after the first guy went, or is it going to be 10 minutes?
Really? Is it like highly directional, or is it like a cone spread out? Do you know?
So according to everything I've read about, if they wanted to, they could pinpoint one person out of a crowd.
Gotcha.
Like a sniper rifle.
Oh, wow.
I'm not kidding. It's that accurate. They can literally do that. And this is also equipped on planes too. And also helicopters. It's been applied to a lot of things. So with that being said, let me finish saying this thing about it. So like basically you could, if you're at this crowd, right? You're at this protest, they decide to use this, the long range acoustic device on LRAD, and they shoot it into the crowd, the entire protesting crowd. Within all of a sudden, you would just like either depending on what they wanted to do, either you're just randomly going to like feel like your brain's being screaming, you're getting frustrated, you're like you can't like process a thought, and you just like start skitzing out, or you all of a sudden become nauseous and start like puking and like all that stuff like that and things of that nature. Like it's that it can do so much more. So that's just LRAD. Then there's ADS, which is active denial system.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can they use it to calm you down?
I'd imagine so, yeah.
So
if it's controlling frequencies, you can do anything you want with it.
Instead of it just making somebody irate and confused and angry, I think it'd be really useful if everyone's rioting or protesting or fighting to use it to stop anger, make them calm and be like, maybe I shouldn't do this. I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna let you take over real quick. I have to go grab something.
Understood.
Keep going.
So while Ben is stepping away, I'm going to briefly talk about the different effects and the different concepts that LRAD and psychological warfare has in general. So there are several different iterations of what psychological warfare is and can become. So there's new ones that are happening every single day. You have the PSYOPs. I'm sure a lot of you know PSYOPs, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen the PSYOPs operations that have social media pages, and they talk about it on a regular basis. This is a very real thing. They broadcast different concepts to their enemies, having them give up or fight. Either way, they're trying to manipulate the masses. They use it a lot whenever they're trying to recruit people to a certain program. Think cults, think the army and the military. They're trying to have you join by the benefits. Look how cool they are. They have guns. Look how handsome and pretty these people are. You want to be just like them, right? And then now they're doing psychological warfare, which I think Ben briefly mentioned at the start of the show. They're using it every single day on you. Every single hour, every single day. They are putting it on your feeds. They're putting it on your social media accounts to make you think the world is falling apart, or make you think the world is a beautiful place. The cyber aspect of it is horrifying. And that goes into LRAD as well, because they are using LRAD to make you sort of get excited or happy. And they can produce that from your phone using the front-facing camera. They have infrared flashes on it that are always going all of the time.
Yep.
Which makes me think that they're using this sort of technology to manipulate your brain to want to be staring at this phone all of the time. Because it's not only addicting to have a repetitive sense come at you. Think music. I mean, you listen to a song and you like the riff. The dun 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 dun. It feels nice, so you listen to it again and again and again. It's the same concept with your phone. They have a flashing light in your eye that you may not be able to see, but your brain becomes addicted to it. So you're constantly, uh, I gotta look at this thing. I have fallen guilty to it. I know that I like to look at my phone probably too much. Y'all will see my tweets all the time on X. Ben and I take turns posting things, but I probably shouldn't do it all the time. But here I am. I like talking to you guys. So make sure that you say hi back or sometime, I guess. But the cyber aspect is horrifying when they have bots and fake accounts. We've talked about the fake internet theory before. Most of these accounts that you're running into, I'm sure y'all have experienced it. They're all fake. They're all trying these like OnlyFans bots.
Yeah.
Come give me your money.
I got some tech stuff to talk about too.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we go right ahead.
Okay.
I'm not rant over.
Well, I'm not going on the tech. I'm going to go back to what I was talking about. And it looks like we have another viewer for the viewer number 5. Welcome to the live episode. Just so you know, we were talking about originally long range acoustic devices, and that also known as LRAD. So just if you're curious,
At the moment,
because you had said LRAD, that's what it stands for, is long range acoustic device. So I'm going to move on now. So the other one of the other tools that they use is active denial system, or also known as ADS. So what this is, now this one is like, it's basically like all this is straight out of a sci-fi movie, but this one in particular kind of weirds me out a bit, quite a bit. So it is a heat ray the military and law enforcement can use to make you feel like your skin is on fire. Your brain doesn't know that though, and your brain thinks you're on fire, but you're not. Like at all. Like there's no permanent damage that happens to your physical body, but you think you're on fire. And it's that one creeps me out, because if you think about it, to everyone listening and to you as well, think of all the times that you've been out somewhere where there was like something going on, some type of commotion, all of a sudden you were just like, so fucking hot out here, man, it feels like I'm on fire today. Like, it just makes you wonder, is it being used in moments like that to make you go away from an area that they don't want you in for a moment? Things of that nature. It made me think of that. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's happening across the board.
Hold on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Imagine there's a large event being held, and they have a capacity of, say, 1,000, and 10,000 people show up. They could potentially just put a target zone around the area to where they don't want these individuals to come in for the large gathering event of the certain amount of people, right? So they can then scare these other people away using these frequencies. Is that what you're getting at?
No, it literally feels like you're burning.
Yeah, but I mean, could they use it potentially to stop a certain amount of individuals to come into a building, let's say?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just laying out. Like, that's what I was getting at. Is like, there have been times that I've been at like, I don't know, like a
music festival or something.
Music. Oh, in fact, that's actually a good thing to bring up. Back in, I think this was 2007, something like that. I went to a reggae festival down in Austin, Texas.
Hell yeah, that's tight, dude.
Hey, I was with a best friend of mine, one of my buddies, and we were going to visit his family down there, or his older sister or whatever, and they were going to a reggae festival, which
it's called Reggae Fest.
In fact, oh man, I think it was 2006. So it was like, I technically was not supposed to be there, and so was my buddy. But the thing is that when we were there, shit went wild. Cops came in. They had like full-on SWAT. We had to run for it because
allegedly.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna say how it is, man. I can run away from that shit. I'm not on YouTube where I have to say allegedly all the time. Fuck YouTube. So we bailed out, but the thing was that when we were there and the SWAT came in and all that stuff, there was literally, if I could remember off the top of my head, I saw at least 30 different like cop units.
Good Lord.
Just the vehicles. And there was more I couldn't see because I could see more strobing lights off in the distance. Thing was that everyone, when we were running away, or right before we ran away, I started feeling like I was on fire. Like I was just like, why is it so fucking hot out here? And yes, it is in Texas, but it was not in the summertime. It was what Texas would consider winter, was just fall for everyone else.
Really?
Huh?
Really?
Yeah, no, it was like 70 degrees outside and it felt like it was 100.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, and then my buddy felt the same way too, and so did his sister. Like there was quite a few people who felt that way. And then, of course, at the time I was way younger, and I didn't tune into the things that we're talking about now or know what I know about now. And I just thought it was like because everyone's like smoking weed
Yeah.
around me and stuff, and I wasn't smoking, but I was thinking secondhand, or something, or maybe I drank something. Someone put something in the water that I was drinking, because it was one of those festivals.
Do you know if you
So-
were? Do you remember if you were sweating or not? Like, do you remember if the feeling made you sweat?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It was a long time ago. But the thing is that I remember that. So it's just like, it makes me wonder because then all of a sudden, literally after we start feeling that way, it hadn't even been 10 minutes and all of a sudden SWAT just starts rolling in there like law enforcement. And this is no joke. That's how it played out. Now, I'm not saying it was this, but it just makes me wonder. It makes me look backwards and look at things and go, well, was that the thing happening at the time? Is that something that I experienced and I had no fucking idea? No idea. No clue.
Well, we know that the microwave weapons are a very real thing. So who's to say that
Yep.
they didn't attempt to deter you from the area, right? They could have easily used these weapons, or should we call them weapons? Is that a proper terminology? Or
Microwave weapons?
should we call them devices?
I'm gonna call them, dude. Microwave weapon would be the right way to
Okay, so
put it. Honestly,
if they're using these microwave weapons on you, then yeah, I mean, if we know that they do it, we know that they use it for like specific targets and locations to induce Havana syndrome, and now that you're saying that they use it to make you warm so you run away, or use it to psychologically make you calmer, that's frightening. That freaks me out. I don't like that.
no,
don't like that at all.
It is freaky out.
How do we get rid of that? What
I don't
department do we have to cut for that?
I don't know. We should everyone start sending messages to Elon Musk, Donald Trump, everything. Just start blowing up their inboxes and be like, "Yo,
Get rid of El
figure out where this shit's at and get rid of it." But anyway, so that what I was talking about, where your skin feels on fire. Just to say the name again, it's known as ADS, which is also known as active denial system. Blah 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 blah. God, I can't talk. Active denial system.
Just so excited.
Now, you had brought up tech earlier.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you right now, you're always being fucking watched.
Yep.
You're always being watched.
Yep.
Literally all of your everyday things. So facial recognition on cameras. You got drones, stingrays. Stingrays. Those devices that mimic cell towers to intercept calls. And then like all the smart speakers people have in their home, like Alexa and all that bullshit. All of it is used to gather intel on you. All of it. It's used to gather the intel, predict behavior, and then as well as just take advantage of getting the inside scoop on you. And then the next thing you know, you're getting marketed to. Like all the bullshit advertisements that you weren't looking up. It's like, oh, I was just talking to so-and-so about that and it just popped up on my fucking phone. And then, let's take it a step further. It is known now that they were also selling that information to the government, and they were also giving it to law enforcement agencies, which is illegal to do so. And the Alexa thing, and then especially the Google one, the Google smart speaker that they have, I forgot what it's called. Listen,
Google.
if you already weren't a fan of Alexa, knowing that Google makes one, that should make you go, I'm definitely not going to buy it. It's fucking Google. They are probably the worst out there about their shit on like a platform wise.
Mhm.
So yeah, so there's that. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to move on to some things. We could go just on that little subcategory alone of that. Of that type of technology would go forever.
Have we defined what psychological warfare actually is?
I did. Beginning.
You defined it?
I mean, I summarized it for listeners, unless you want to give a hard definition.
I want to give a direct definition.
Go ahead.
It's the actions intended to reduce an opponent's morale. Simply put, right? You see, it They just want to confuse you. They wanted to just have you just so disorientated that you have to listen to what they have to say. Simple as that, right? I mean, they used it back in the Persian Empire as well with the immortal Persians. They
Mhm.
would have 10,000 soldiers on the combat field, and every time one of them died, they would drag them away and then replace it with somebody else as if nobody ever left the battlefield. That is like I think that's one of the very first examples of psychological warfare, to scare their enemies that these people would never
I
die.
don't know. I say Vlad Impaler's number one.
You think that's the very first one?
I don't know. I think he was before that. Pretty
I
positive.
mean, that's an interesting
Dude, he
concept.
shoved
I
shit
mean,
up people's asses and out their mouths like fucking rods, dude.
but I don't know if that one was like
On a pike.
I don't if that was like globally known.
I don't give a shit. If I was a local, I'd be freaking the fuck out. like what?
He's shoving what up where? Wait a second. I don't like this Vlad guy.
Oh no, please don't do it to me. I haven't done my anal stretches today. No.
Vlad, what? The Impaler?
Dracula. So yeah, as fuck. Anyways, keep going.
I mean I just want to give a direct example. They use it in the Persian era, and been saying that they used it with Vlad the Impaler. It's very possible, very reasonable. The Persian immortals used to wear white masks over their face. Think the Jabberwockies, if you will, and so you would never know who you're actually fighting. That was the idea, just to mess with your brain a little bit, just to give you a little bit of extra fear. It's like motivating yourself. You can psychologically fuck up your own head by just trying to motivate yourself or telling yourself you're bad. Some people are really good at giving themselves bad advice. And we have talked to a few experts, I believe, about how you can psychologically manipulate your brain to make you think good and do good all of the time. So it can be used in good ways and bad ways. I'm not saying that psychological warfare is all bad. Let's make this very clear. It's mostly bad, but it can be also very good. So if you look at yourself and you say, damn, I'm fat. Damn, I'm unhealthy. I'm ugly. You're manipulating your brain to lower your own morale.
Well, you also have
Right?
you also have to mention, since you said that, you also got to mention the fact that people only do that because society pushes that narrative.
Tell the people, talk to them.
Yeah.
Talk to
Yeah.
them.
It's because they push that narrative. You go like as a dude. We're not even talking about the female aspect. We
Yeah.
already know the female aspect's really fucked up because of what they do with the magazines, all this shit. Give this unhealthy and unrealistic, borderline unattainable physique,
Mhm.
right? Because everybody's body's different,
Absolutely.
and the people you see on these magazines are fucking starving themselves and shit.
And they're freaks of nature.
But just look at the dude side of things. You grow up watching action movies. You grow up watching like
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator, all the way to Saving Private Ryan, to The Thing. You have this, all these characters, and then now The Thing was a bad example, mainly because
Badassery.
it was badassery. It was a bad example, but you watch these action movies, these superheroes, and they have these bodies that you think you're supposed to look that way.
Yeah, buddy,
100%.
yaddy.
Yeah, I know, right? You're supposed to look that way like 100% apparently. But what they don't tell you is they don't look like that all the time. They looked like that for a role, but they worked on it. Like basically they worked out a whole bunch and they're all squishy and bloated from all water weight and all these things.
Yep.
And then when they're going to shoot the shirtless scene, they dehydrate them, basically starve them. So they shrink up, shred down all over the course of a week or 2 weeks, just for 1 or 2 days of fucking filming. And then voila, that scene was done. They got this amazing look and what the person looks like. And then boom, 24 hours after they ended filming that scene, they're back to having all this heavy water retention.
They're strapped to an IV to rehydrate themselves.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's like I wanted to throw that in there.
No,
since you mentioned
absolutely
it,
right. So I mean, it's also used in a good way, though. We can't forget that psychological warfare is a good thing sometimes. If you are always telling yourself negative things, you're going to only think negative things. If you find yourself getting fucking pissed off all the time, you need to realize that there are things that you can't control, right? So you have to take everything calmly and approach it with like gratitude that you could even attempt these things. Most people can attempt most things in their life. People who are wheelchair bound probably can't go upstairs. So you need to be sort of gratitude that you can go up them, even though you may be slow at it or it may hurt, but you can still go up them. So that's a good mentality. So you need to think, you need to be telling yourself you're doing good. If I'm not your psychiatrist, I'm not your dad, your mom, or whatever you want to call me, but
Oh, daddy.
don't call me mommy.
2024, dude.
It's almost 2025, the year of our Lord. But I know that I find myself beating myself down sometimes. I play video games with my son, and I'm like, I'm so bad at this game. I'm old. I'm geriatric. I say that jokingly. I say that as a joke, but it still affects my brain. It still makes me feel these things and remember that thought.
You are old.
I am old. I'm getting old. That's for sure. I'll tell you what, boy. Tell that to my dad. He's like, "You're fucking young, you idiot." I'm on X, and I feel like I could curse a lot more.
It's fucking awesome.
we've been on YouTube live streaming for so long that now that we're on X, I feel like the shirt's off.
Dude. The shirt's off.
The shirt's off.
Shirts off, pants off, socks off. No. You gotta leave the socks on though.
I don't know if we can publish this on YouTube though, but
No, fuck you too. No, you can. No, dude, you gotta leave. If someone strips down, they leave the socks on. That's how you know it's business time.
Oh yeah, that's by the
Yeah.
Concords. That's a
Yeah.
deep cut.
Business time, buddy. Oh yeah.
Legge blonde, legge blonde.
So so I'm gonna take us back real quick to another tool being used because this the last one I had listed is just one of many examples. So these are brainwave manipulation tools. So I know it probably is gonna sound like tinfoil hat shit, but if you're still watching and you're joining us right now, just know that obviously you're a tinfoil hat wearer too. But this isn't tinfoil hat shit. This is actually 100% real. So basically, like electromagnetic devices, even low frequency sound waves that have been researched for years. We're talking all the way back MK Ultra. It was mainly after Project Pandora is when they started studying that part. I encourage all of you, anyone listening right now, go and research Project Pandora. Or if you want someone who has done it for you, go watch our episode on Project Pandora.
Yeah.
You'll shit a brick. I promise you that. So with all that being said, that's where, sorry, I had to plumb that in there just because of the low frequency sound wave stuff, because it plays into the microwave emission stuff and everything like that. But all these manipulation tools, for messing with like different sound frequency, electromagnetic devices to low frequency sound waves, they can literally, and it's proven without a shadow of a doubt, they can influence your mood, thoughts, or even straight up like make you choose to do something else. Like we're talking about decision making here. They can manipulate you thinking that this was your original thought, but it wasn't.
Hate that.
Or you ever had those times where it's like, fuck, why did I do that? Like you can't comprehend the decision you just made because you would never make that fucking decision. And that's happened to me a few different times in my life. So it makes me wonder, was I being subjected to something? Who fucking knows? But it all the way down to that. And I know we already know for a fact because it's documented. You can go look you can find all these documents where the military has been all over using these tools for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways.
Well, the more that we do this show, the more I realize that the technology that they've had for about 100 years or close to 100 years, right? I mean, we did an episode on HARP specifically not too long ago after Hurricane Helene, and only to realize that they had technology for hurricane and weather manipulation back in 1927, I think it was, when the first patent was. Maybe it was 1947, one of the two. But still, the fact of the matter is they've had these technologies for a very long time, and they've been using it forever. I mean, Yuri Bezmenov talked about them using it. He is like a key proprietor of somebody who was saying, you are being manipulated. They're fucking with your head. Open your eyes. Hello? Are you there? Are you awake? Are you alive? Focus up. So, and now that we are all coming to a open conscious. The people have talked about the Great Awakening a whole lot. I sure do hope that we come to some sort of Great Awakening. May it be about aliens being real, or may it be about everyone realizing that the world is a big fat lie and America isn't the best place on the planet, even though it is free and we are very grateful to be here. I will be the first to say I'm very grateful to live in America, considering all the things that are going on in the world. But the way they tear us apart by these psychological warfares that they're doing to us is detrimental to our society, and we need to sort of understand that they're doing it so that we can keep an eye out for it. That's the whole idea here. We want to make sure that we are aware that they're doing it, so we can see it, be aware of it, move past it.
Yep.
Right? That's the whole idea.
Yep. Now, I'm going to move us into social manipulation.
I like the camera being in front of me.
That's
keep-
good.
I
You
keep-
can
I-
look at the camera and
I keep
talk to
staring
them
down the
"Yo,
lens."
What's going on, guys? Yeah, so this is the social manipulation part. So there's going to be 3 different things that I talk about: algorithmic control, astroturfing, fake movements, and then divide and conquer. So these are the 3 things I'm going to touch on and then just move on from it. Because the social manipulation aspect, there is so much there, surface value wise, and then below the surface value wise, there's no way to go through it all. We would have to do a whole episode just on that, just to get through 3/4 of it.
Which one?
So, social manipulation.
Well, pinpoint that.
Yeah. So, algorithmic control. So, like we said, so you had mentioned with technology, things like that, and then I brought up technology. So, bringing, what we said earlier. So, the algorithms, just so you're aware, aren't just about, showing you the funny fucking cat videos, or maybe your death videos that you watch, or the gruesome shit, or the scary videos, what the fuck it is, your porn videos, what the fuck it is. It's not just about that. They're really, it is 100% weaponized. So they use all of your data to figure out what makes you tick as a person, across the board. And when, and then, basically they would flood you with, basically content, whether it's like social media or online, or even if you're walking down the street, who fucking knows? But they'll flood you with content and things, like, I'm talking about like digital billboards and stuff. But you're walking down the street, or sorry, I started thinking the billboards thing. Sorry, my bad. So they'll flood you with all these, like, this content and all that bullshit based on that reinforces solely your beliefs, because they're trying to make you get stuck into one, basically walk around with blinders on. And so if you're not being objective with yourself or conversating with anyone outside of your belief structure or whatever your convictions are, well, you become part of an echo chamber.
Mhm.
And then it keeps you isolated in there, and they keep you basically, it's like it's like taking the kids to a park. Like, if you have kids, it's like taking kids to a park, right? They're playing on the playground, running around, hooping and hollering, sliding down the slide. It's very much like that. But I'm talking about echo chamber wise, that's what an echo chamber be. All the kids at the park playing, everyone's enjoying the park. That's what we like. That's what we believe in. We're all doing that. Or if you want to take it up to an actual real implementation of it, look at politics, yo. Look at the left, look at the right. Look at them, look at everyone in between that. You'll notice that they all keep going over to their own little fucking echo chambers. And that's where they stay. And you could tell someone that you know something is for a fact, because you've done the research, you were objective with your own opinion, and you checked yourself and realized you were wrong, because you went out and sought out the truth on your own without having to just have someone tell you this is what it is.
Kudos.
And you just go along with it. And then all of a sudden you go and you try to talk to people, and next thing you know, and no one believes you. You're not part of their echo chamber anymore. And then the thing is that when you do that and you do the research and you actually, like, be objective and unbiased, and you look at where everyone sits in their little groups and whatever the fuck you want to call it, they are all just bouncing the same fucking words off of each other in their own little fucking bubbles. And all those people are just fucking, they're a bunch of NPC sheep cunts. And if you're one of them listening right now and you don't like what I said, go fuck yourself. So it's just a fact. It is what it is. You know, you want to be liberated? Liberate yourself.
You said liberated. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Liberace in that mindset.
That's pretty gay. Dude, that dude's gay. But yeah, and then so I'm going to move on from that. So let's talk about astroturfing and
Please.
fake movements. You ever heard of this?
I have.
So you ever hear about like, oh, here's an example, like the grassroots movement and think, wow, people are really passionate about this. Yeah, half the time it's not real. Between the government and corporations buying and making private deals with social media, media platforms, social media platforms, the works across the board. Basically, what they do is they go create fake online, like communities, fake online accounts in mass production. I'm not talking about one or two. We're talking about a fuckload of them. Hence, like the whole internet is dead theory. It's because it is. It's not even a theory. The internet is dead. Majority of the people you see on the internet are not real people.
Well,
At this
I can
point.
give a prime example
So-
of this happening.
Mhm.
Oftentimes, these companies will go and pay people to leave fake positive reviews, right? So we just went through a huge election here in the United States, and a lot of crazy things happened on the Democratic side. It was found out by multiple streamers and multiple YouTubers that the Harris team, Harris Party, whatever you want to call it, consistently reached out to these streamers to pay them money to say, hey, I like them. I want to do what they do. They are good. And a lot of these streamers are like, I'm not doing this, but here, look at what they're doing.
Yep.
They're trying to astroturf everybody.
And they provide the fucking receipts.
Yeah. So that's just a prime example.
It's a classic. It's just a bait and switch bullshit.
Yeah,
That's really what it comes down to.
A lot of it is fake good,
Yep.
fake good.
And that's where the divide and conquer comes into play.
Absolutely.
Because in the divide and conquer, the whole point of it is to keep you divided as a populace, as a society, is to keep you all divided in multiple ways. And so like think about how like the news pits people against each other, like left versus right, vaccinated versus unvaccinated, urban versus rural, all that bullshit. Just right off the cuff, left versus right shit. We just saw a fuckload of that. It's always happening, but we saw a really fuckload of that. We got to watch Obama on stage at a campaign for Harris flat out lie to everyone, saying that Trump was saying this about the white supremacists and how there's good people on both sides. That's not what he fucking said at all. And he knows that. Obama knows that. Fuck you, Obama, you lying cunt. No, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. I'm on X now. I'm not filtered anymore.
But this
baby.
is still going to go out to other platforms.
That's okay. We'll just put a on there. Go yourself, Obama. Cunt. The wank comes after the hard C. But yeah, so yeah, dude, I talk like this all the fucking time. This has never changed any fucking episode. This is why our shit doesn't go anywhere on YouTube. YouTube takes one look and goes, fuck you, dude, you're in jail. But with that being said, that's a really good example. Or another really good one is when they were calling Trump a Nazi. And, saying that he was saying that he wanted to be like the Nazi party and all that bullshit with the generals and everything like that. And they were running all these things. And then, Harris said in one of her fucking campaign things that she did, one of her events, I think she was on CNN or something. She got asked a question of what she would do in this situation. She immediately brought up Trump. She just said, Trump this, he's a Nazi. It's like, that's not what he asked you, bitch.
Well, that's a perfect example of them trying to psychologically manipulate their individuals, right? So
Divide and conquer. It's in there.
I know we sort of went on a political tangent there. I was not trying to get into politics. I was trying to give an example. But
Fuck off.
the idea here is that the psychological manipulation is a broad spectrum. A lot of astroturfing is based around politics, unfortunately. So they have like the grassroots effort, right? So what he was saying about one party calling the other party a name, that is a prime example of them being like, hey, look at me. I'm the good guy. They're the really bad one.
Mhm.
Don't worry about them. I mean, Trump did it too. He kept calling her a crazy bitch and all this.
She is a
all these
crazy
names.
bitch, though.
But that's besides the point,
It's,
though.
no. It's not. If it's
It
true,
is besides the point.
If it's true,
besides
there's
the
a
point
difference.
because it's a psychological manipulation between everybody. Because he's putting a thought into
How-
your head, right?
wait, no. If it's true, it's not manipulating someone. It's telling them the truth.
But it's still.
That's not. I think you need to go look at the
It's
definition.
still.
That's
I
not.
have it
that-
right here. It's still
If
psychological.
it's true.
It's still psychological.
It doesn't matter. It's not manipulate. You're not manipulating. Manipulating is to lie, to deceive. If you're being deceived,
Not all the time.
I know, but in this application, what we're talking about right now, currently, in the past 2 minutes,
Put the camera on you too, huh?
that is 100% based out of manipulation. So the source of it would be it to deceive, to lie. They are not deceiving or lying. If someone makes a statement and says, "Yeah, Harris looks like she's coked out all the time," well, she does. That's not manipulating anybody.
That puts
I'm
an
talking-
idea in your brain. That puts an
I
idea
know
in your
you're
head.
missing my point.
You're missing.
It's
my
not a
point.
lie, though. I know, but you're changing the narrative.
Of what?
What we talked about the past 2 minutes, the basis of it was,
Astroturfing, right?
yes, but we are talking about in particularly left versus right and what the media was doing. The difference is that when Trump said whatever the shit he says over the past month in his statements, he wasn't lying in those. They were lying.
It doesn't have to be a lie.
I'm aware of that,
That's-
but I'm talking about in this conversation right here, right now,
Mhm.
the past 2 minutes. The basis of it is if the point is to deceive and manipulate for ill intent, to skew your actual thoughts of what the reality is, that comes from the basis of it being a lie.
That's tight. I was also adding the point that
That's
it
tight.
could be a
That's
true
tight.
statement. I was also adding the point that it could be a true
It
statement.
can be. You already covered
and then you
that.
got upset about it. I'm
No.
just simply trying to say that it can also be a true statement that they're manipulating you with.
I know you said
That's
that
it.
like 4 times way earlier, though.
I know.
I know. We already
That's it.
covered it.
Why
Well,
are we
because-
yelling at each other?
Because you can't change. You can't change gears.
Sure
When
can.
you can't change gears. If we're talking about this and then you apply something that's not applicable to this finite moment of the narrative that we are talking about, then it changes the whole tune. Because then it's like, well, I'm applying this over here to this. It's like, well, no, we're actually fine pointing something right now. That doesn't apply here.
Okay.
This side of it is the lie manipulation side
Yes.
for ill intent and full deception.
Yes.
Earlier, when you were talking about the other thing, yes, you can manipulate while also telling someone the truth.
Okay.
100%. I don't disagree with that. I'm just talking about what we were talking about the past 2 minutes. Because you said Trump says a crazy bitch. She is a crazy bitch.
That may be true.
It's beyond true.
It's
There's-
still. Is it not?
video evidence.
Is it not still putting a thought in your brain?
No, because I already thought it.
But that's
Everyone
you.
else already
That's
thought
you, right?
Yeah, you're trying to split hairs between two different things.
I am not trying to split hairs, dude.
Well, sorry, not split.
you
You're
have
trying
a
to lock
you have
them
a
into the
negative. You
same
have a
thing.
negative view. Of course,
Mhm.
you have positive and negative in everything. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was just talking about it like 25 minutes ago. You
Mm-hmm.
have a positive view saying, hey, I'm good at what I do. Hey, I have a negative view. Hey, I'm bad at this. If you keep putting these things into the ether, you're going to manipulate a concept. So if one person says, hey, this person is a crazy person, and it's true, now she's crazy. They're crazy forever. Or, hey, this person looks like they're coked up, and they may look like they're coked up, but now that is a stigma pushed across all the time.
Mhm.
It is still a psychological effect that can take a hold on a
Yeah.
whole group of people. That is my
I
point.
don't. I know, but you decided to throw that in there when we were fine pointing on something. So I was calling you on lauding in something else that's not applicable
It's
not
absolutely
applicable.
applicable.
because we were talking about what was blatantly said.
All right,
as a
chat, what do you
lie.
think?
Because we were talking about what was blatantly a lie being said by media outlets. Blatantly a lie. Everyone knows it. It's fucking documented.
I agree.
And the source of it that we were talking about was that. And then when you bring in Trump and you were saying that, the
That's your
weird
baby
example
daddy.
you decided to give, it didn't apply to this because we were talking about from the motive because of the subject that we were saying and what we had the fucking magnifying glass on. This is all based in the narrative of to lie and deceive for ill intent of that form of manipulation.
All right.
That's
Anything else you want to add to the point of lying and manipulation and psychological
Yes,
warfare through
I do.
grassroots and astroturfing?
I have a lot of. I
right
have
ahead.
a lot. The media and government are not your friend. I thought that was pretty fucking to the point. See? I didn't divide anybody. I didn't manipulate anybody. Subscribe.
And there's also a positive aspect of it. They could tell you the truth and you didn't know that truth, right?
Mhm.
And now that is how you are. Now that's how you think.
Mhm.
Simple as that. It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. I keep putting that across because you need to be able to decipher the difference.
Mhm.
One person can say, "Hey, that shirt's ugly on you." Now there's a whole group of individuals saying, "Yeah, that shirt's fucking ugly." I mean, a lot of things come subjective as well. You may think someone's crazy, and another group might see them as reasonable. So, not only is something going to be a negative and positive viewpoint, it has to be a subjective viewpoint as well.
Yeah.
So the fact that you are trying to say that I'm fine pointing an idea, no. Psychological warfare is a very broad spectrum
know.
idea.
But you're still missing what I was saying then. It means you didn't understand what I'm saying, and I'm not going to press it anymore if you're not following me.
Does anybody else see me gaslighting Ben over here?
No, it's not gaslighting. I just called you on your bullshit.
Oh, you think that's bullshit?
That's not actually bullshit at all. But I had to
Explain to
have a
me why it's
phrase.
bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
Oh, thanks.
I was just saying that you lauded in.
Psychologically manipulated.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, I saw this one car this one time, and then I just went nuts.
Did it have nuts, dude? Oh my god, I saw a black Honda that had truck nuts on it, dude. It was going all the way to Pluto, baby.
See them three-titted aliens out there, dude. I'm telling
See,
you.
those of you who tune in on our YouTube live streams would know those jokes. What's up, X?
But you don't, so you're a butthole. Anyway, no. Before I just moved right the fuck on here,
Move.
my point is that you were lauding in something that was already prefaced earlier. You already said the whole you can lie, or sorry, not lie. You can tell the truth,
Mhm.
and that's still part of psychological warfare.
I
It is
hadn't added that into
psychological.
astroturfing as well.
But either way, it's been touched on numerous times. But what we were talking about in that moment, the narrative was being lying and deceiving someone or a populace, hence the media, and with the examples that I had given. We were talking about the center point of it was to manipulate and lie. And that was the whole point of it. It's all based in the deceitful and ill intent, not telling someone the truth. And yes, that can be psychological warfare, depending on what the situation is. But what we were talking about had nothing to do with that. So when you brought it in, that's when I say, what the fuck are you talking about? Boom, roasted. I owe you owe me $20.
Play the tape back. Play it back.
I'll-
You're gonna all see it.
All I have is the intro and countdown. I'll put it on right now. Right now.
Anyway,
Speaking of fuck ups,
are we moving on? No.
Yes.
That's sick.
I was about to say, speaking of fuck ups, like, dude, I had to take the GD test like 8 times.
Dude, talking about fuck ups. I had Taco Deli today.
Oh,
Stay clear. Stay clear, Taco Deli. It is dangerous.
is that why you were murdering my toilet?
I tend to eat rather clean, and that
do we?
that ruined me. Anyway, do we want to talk about anything
Yeah.
specific?
I was talking about fear as a weapon.
Oh, see, I like that. Fear mongering and rumor mongering
Yeah.
are a huge warfare based.
Yep.
Yeah.
I put 2 on here. One is the most recent one that was like huge across the board, and that was the pandemics. All the pandemic in general. So I'm not bringing up the pandemic to debate anything about the virus or anything like that.
Hey, the virus is a good thing, dude.
But basically the whole pandemic that happened, when the truth started getting out there, and the reason all this is because they were basically using all this fear mongering and fear messaging to get what they wanted. They wanted you to, go and get this shot done that had 0 studies basically done on it. All this bullshit. They wanted you to do all these things like, lockdowns, death counts, fabricated numbers, endless debates on the fucking news, just to get people to comply. That's it.
Yep.
I mean, there's already those leaked tapes of that one dude from
Oh, yeah.
CNN. And, if you haven't seen those, just go search on X for leaked CNN reporters or director, and you will see what I'm fucking talking about. So there's that one. And my second one was that I just tossed on here. I put this on here because ever since this moment, at least to my knowledge and everything I've done research wise, is 9/11.
Yeah.
So basically, I put terrorism and security, quote unquote. So basically, since 9/11, national security has been basically the go-to surveillance across the board. So remember when Edward Snowden blew the whistle on the NSA? They were literally tracking everything, like texts, calls, emails, videos, photos, you name it, all under the guise of keeping us safe. But they're doing it to the American people who are not on any form of watch list. It could have been one of you listeners right now. I guarantee they got copies of your shit. If you're just a normal person, let's say you just work a 9-to-5 job and you're married and have kids, whatever. You're just an average Joe. Nothing special about you. And nothing special about you at all. Well, they did this to you. It didn't matter. It was going to happen. And yeah, pretty much everyone just kind of let it happen because they were scared, supposedly. So that it's a bunch of fuckery is all it is. So I'm going to move on because Evan had to step out for a second. So psychological tricks in everyday life. So let's say behavioral nudges. Like, let's think about it like this. So have you ever noticed how certain messages are phrased to make you feel like you're making a choice even though you're not? Like click here to protect your family, kind of like if someone says click here to protect your family, or when governments roll out policies and call them things like Patriot Act or Freedom Plan, they're not just naming stuff randomly. They're using psychology to make you go along with it because in the title you think it just instinctually means something else.
It's a really bad problem.
When really, when you go and read what those fucking things are, it is far from the fucking truth of anything that the title even is displaying to you that you would think it's about.
And I got to say something. X is really bad at that. Fear mongering on X is bad. It's all over the place. There's a lot of accounts. I'll call out Matt Wallace, who is consistently.
I think every platform's the same.
That's fair, but a lot of the feed that I get, especially when I just started on X, was like the world's ending. You're dying.
That's not what I got.
It was.
I saw other people die,
but that's fear, right?
No, it didn't freak me out. They're the ones who died. I'm not even over there. That's their problem.
But
I'm just saying, I'm sitting in the comfort of my home on my couch. My dog's sitting here being my best bud. My wife's sitting on my left. My kids are playing off over in the distance. And next thing I know, what?
What are you about to say?
I said, next thing I know, all of a sudden on my X feed, I see a dude get his brains blown out. I'm like, oh, sucks to be you, bro. Next.
Here, everybody.
I'm just saying, why the fuck would it affect me? I'm not the one dying.
Well,
and for all I know, that could have happened 10 years ago. Who knows? Or it's made up. Internet is dead, dude. It's a fake account. AI generated.
It's very possible.
Even though it was fact checked and it's real, but it's AI generated.
You may hate me for this, but that is a fear attempt to desensitize people to death, right?
Sure.
So it's
it's true.
Plain as day tactic to be like, here's death all the time. Dead, 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 dead. So that's all you're thinking, not necessarily thinking about, but every day you see it die. And now you're like, okay, it's not that bad anymore.
See, I was just fortunate. My childhood did me right. I got desensitized to that shit at a very, very young age. So it's just I was just ahead of the curve, dude.
You were the test subject.
I'm the new version of the test subject, dude. They perfected it, then they put it on my ass, and they're like, shit, this worked? How many did we do it to? We did it to 100 babies. And it's just well, we better start doing it to the populace. I'm over here. Everyone else oh my God. I'm all so what you guys do today? This spaghetti's delicious.
We're in the middle of a warfare. There's dead bodies everywhere. Ben's like, anybody want that pasta?
It's oh, you got blood on me. No.
Dang it, there's blood in my noodles.
Oh, spaghetti.
but
Don't touch of my spaghetti.
The sort of fear-based mindset, right, is an everyday occurrence. You'll see these accounts on your social media platform UFOs inbound. There's a giant cube on the sun coming down to Earth. A huge fleet of aliens. That's fear-based, fear mongering,
cool,
right?
though.
That'd be
I'd be
badass.
Stoked. I'd be running out there with my guns.
Personally, I would be like, okay, picnic table, going outside, gonna have me a lunch and watch this happen. This is gonna be cool.
Watch this happen, dude.
But you have to keep in mind that mostly people are just trying to get your attention. The name of the game is attention. Here over at Smartly Uneducated, we also want your attention. So hi, make sure that you follow and subscribe and you reach out to us. You can DM us, message us in chat, leave comments. We will definitely respond. We respond to almost every single comment available, right? So
And email us.
yeah, we also answer the emails. We have an email. It is smartlyuneducated@gmail.com. It is a real email.
We've gotten emails on it and
Yeah.
they told us it was real.
Oh yeah, we've had people send over UFO sightings on there as well.
Oh, and that's how we did the interview. If you guys are into like the whole alternative energy and
Yeah.
stuff like that, that's how we did the episode with Greg Vesna.
That's right.
He had we actually got an email from some random guy.
Yeah.
And he was just like, out of nowhere. This is back before when we never got emails. So I was like, oh shit, it works. It really works.
It's not just spam.
Yeah, and yeah, he let us on that. Anyways, sorry, I'll turn that back over to you.
Yeah, so make sure that you follow and subscribe and do all that stuff. Thank you for Bad Cat Studios over on Instagram for making some of our intermission bumper reels, which I don't think we'll be using today, but we use them pretty regularly. We'll have a 2-minute intermission every now and again for everybody to go use the bathroom and get some water or what have you. Mostly us, because y'all can do it whenever you want. But
Yeah.
that being said, back to the episode. Ben, anything you want to say?
Yeah, I actually kind of wrote
Camera.
up I wrote up a little segment on kind of like
Didn't work.
oh, my bad. I wrote up a little segment on like things, what can you do as a person, like average day, average Joe, you know, to kind of like get away from this, right? Like to stop it from happening. One, you can't stop it. That's a fact. Now you can limit it.
You can learn.
You can learn, and being informed and actually being objective and questioning everything. Questioning everything is not bad. I'm tired of that narrative. Like I have seen a lot of random media outlets, CNN especially, and The View. Fuck The View, the
Yeah.
fucking psycho asses. But they have pushed that concept out there numerous times, that narrative of, you know, pretty much like if you question everything, you know, and you question things, like you're a problem. And it's like, no, fuck you. I want to learn. I want to know what's really going on. And you're wanting me only to listen to you and no one else. Well, fuck you then. I'm walking away.
Do you think that that is an attempt for them to be like, hey, you shouldn't watch us anymore? Like, do you think that there's a writer behind the teleprompter like, don't question everything? You should definitely be questioning everything at that point,
Mhm.
right? Like, you should do the opposite of what big media tells you to do.
Oh, yeah.
So
So-
if you are subscribed to us, thank you so much. We are an independent source of news and entertainment. So
Yeah, if you guys, if anyone knows anyone wants to be a guest, shoot
Yeah,
us an email
absolutely.
smartlyuneducated@gmail.com. We will put it in the chat here shortly. But anyways, I'm going to digress and go backwards to the what you can do stuff. So
but to caveman,
the first thing, the first essential thing, like this is the one that you always do, is learning to spot when you're being manipulated. Now that is an extremely hard task, especially when, you know, everyone's got all the cards. Everyone's got a gun. You don't. It's a situation. It literally becomes a situation where you got, like, let's use an example, like a theoretical example. Let's say you got sent off to war and you're a soldier and you are there about to walk out onto this battlefield, and all these people around you, all these other soldiers, other you know, people on your side, everyone's got a gun. And they're getting handed guns because they're going to fight. And then you are next in line and they go, get the fuck out there.
Yeah.
You don't have a gun, so you don't have a way to shoot back. You're getting shot at. Shoot your shot, bro. Skeet, skeet, skeet. Anyways, so but no, like all serious though, like that's essentially what it is. Like you're being sent out into combat. You're in a war zone with no way of fighting or defending yourself, like anything. So the best thing you can do is learn how to spot what's going on around you
Yep.
first. And, you know, whether it's like identifying what's clickbait on the internet, like clickbait headlines. Like I'm sure, and they're everywhere. I'm sure. I know you've seen it. I know
Yep.
we've talked about it so many times, and I'm sure all of you have seen it. You see a headline for like a post or an article, and it says, "This person did this. There's a blah blah blah. They said a racist thing," and then you click on the article and read it. And that's not even what it's really about. It's about something else. And they, at the end of it, go like pose a question of, is this racist? Like, bitch, you were talking about the towels are white and gray on the shelves. What about the fabric? How is the fabric racist? What kind of question is that? That's how stupid it is.
Yeah.
So learning something like that, learning the spot bullshit like that, or like, you're like, for instance, influencers. Influence is another one. They're paid, and half of them are fake, by the way.
That's the job I want.
I do too. I would just sit on camera and like eat food.
Oh, mukbangs. You want to do mukbangs?
What the fuck is that?
People who sit on camera eat as much food as possible.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. It'd be more if I just mount a camera like right above my stove, and then you guys can see me at a distance sitting down and eating. Like you would see midnight me come out. I eat like peanut butter and anything that's edible. It's getting fucking ate.
Getting
Dude.
shoved in your gullet.
I wake up like every night at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, like 30 minutes to an hour before my alarm goes off to go work out.
Well, Ben, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be eating at a rapid rate like that. Because
I
there's
know my body.
There's a food shortage going on. They're having a food epidemic in the world, America specifically, and that, folks, is an example of economic psychological warfare.
The fact that you just lied.
Yes, the fact that I just lied, not saying true things is obviously, we've talked about it a million times in this episode, in this stream right now, that lying is the key element here.
Just like Evan was doing earlier when he decided to try to argue with me.
And truth is also another element of it.
Psych. There is no truth. Everything's subjective.
But
sorry, I was about to go on a tangent.
with the economic aspect of it, I know everyone's seen it. They're running out of water. They're running out of food. They're running out of air. All of these sort of concepts. That's a prime example of an economic psychological warfare. They are trying to scare you to potentially go spend your money so that you stay down and poor.
Yeah.
So they're like, the stock market's crashing. It's down 2 points. That's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's up 10 points. The stock market's at an all-time high, maybe for the day. So it's vitally important that you are to staying educated, right? That, man, I don't know what else to say here. Just stay educated.
Yeah.
Subscribe to us, listen to us. We are trying our best here to just say, understand the world around you. That's all we're trying to do, right? That's all we're trying to do here. So
yeah, and a lot of this whole topic of talking about psychological warfare, our main thing about it was just talking about how everyday people like us going through the numbers Monday through Sunday, like every week, of things being done to us on that aspect. Now, psychological warfare in general, if you look into outside of the average, the citizen aspect, that's a whole other ballpark. And there's a fuckload of information out there. A lot of research to be done, but it's a very different tune. And there's so much more to this. This subject alone, like if I were to break down everything about psychological warfare in modern times, and like do all the homework on every little aspect, have every little note, everything lined out, we would have to do so many episodes. There would be no just like sitting down, like even if every episode was 3 hours long and we were fleshing out every little detail we can get our grimy little mitts on, there would be all of our episodes would be about psychological warfare across the board. So I'm going to move on from that. Sorry, you want to say something?
I do. I want to number. What is it? What do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Top 10 countries who are the best at psychological warfare.
Okay.
Can you guess number 1?
United States.
That's correct. Uh, they are the best at it. Could be, well, for starters, we have the 4th Psychological Operations Group. You can go follow their Instagram, the 4th PsyOps.
Mhm.
Then Russia is next. They have a psychological warfare called hybrid warfare. That's what they refer to it as. China is third with their 3 warfares doctrine: psychological, political, and legal. Then we have the United Kingdom. So again, that's USA, Russia, China, United Kingdom. Then we have Israel. Number 6 is North Korea. Number 7 is Iran, Germany, France, and India.
Mhm.
These 10 are the top contributors to manipulation and psychological effects. So the more you see news about these people, the more you see warnings and signs and fear, just know that they are really, really good at this sort of thing. And they are trying to make themselves either look really strong, look really smart, or really prepared. And that comes a lot of the time through warfare tactics. Do you have any research on warfare manipulation?
Yeah. I mean, we have, that's a plethora of things. Is there anything in particular you're trying to pinpoint in that?
I mean, blackmail and perception of power.
Diddy tapes, dude.
Yeah, will you watch
Epstein
those?
list.
Will you watch those if they release those tapes?
I mean, I'll skim them. I just want to see who's in them. That's it.
That's all I want to know.
I want to see which fucked up politicians are in them, and then cross-reference that with the Epstein list. They should release that full fucking list. I'm so pissed that they haven't released it, and they're not going to. And I'm hoping that somehow Trump and Elon are able to release it. And the other thing about that thing is that people say like, "Oh, hey, we want to watch we want to see the Epstein list," and they say, "Oh, Trump's gonna get it. He's gonna release it to us." Well, you have to remember who has the Epstein list. It's the government.
Yeah, we already have it.
You know how easy. They've done it with numerous other things. Anytime something comes out like that, if someone was about to leak it out, they just go, "Oops, it disappeared."
Isn't there talk about
or
him?
it got manipulated?
Isn't
and
there
it's
talk
not
about
right.
him having video cameras all over his island as well, Epstein? So there's videos of all this stuff too.
Mhm.
Where are those videos?
They have them apparently.
Yeah, so they need to release the Epstein tapes,
Yep.
along with the Diddy tapes.
Yeah, and then we could cross-reference. I want to see which fucks were at both.
Yeah, who went where, what they do.
And then you find out everyone who was at a Diddy party was also at an Epstein
I
party.
wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't put it past them either. But I want to throw in
Some
things you can
absolute
do
degenerates. Ugh.
to try to help yourself before I share some things. There's one thing I want to share here at the end. But obviously, checking out clickbait titles, things like that. But let's get more realistic with it. Like the next one for me would be like limiting your digital footprint into things. Trying to use more, encryption on messages. And, I know a lot of apps. You see all these different apps, like these messaging apps. And it's like, oh, these encrypted, it's secure. Nothing's fucking secure. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
And the thing is that even if you were to use one of these, like, let's say a messaging app you download from the App Store or what the fuck ever, well, they store that fucking information. And it doesn't matter if it's encrypted. You're doing it in the fucking app. They're getting a copy of it when you submit it or even just typing around on it. They have the ability to do that. I know this because I can do that shit. And then if I can do it, can you think of the fucking ladder here?
Yeah.
Like, come on. So it's like the best thing to do for that would be to try not giving out information on sites. Try not doing all that stuff. Like try to, because I noticed that every site you do, things like that, it doesn't matter which one you go to. They're wanting your information. They're wanting your name. They're wanting all these different things. Use a fake fucking name. Who gives a shit? Unless it's something obviously like a checkout, like you're paying for something. That's one thing. But if I was paying for something, I mean, if I could get away with it, I would just use fucking gift cards for everything.
Yep.
And then fucking have an account in a different bogus fucking name. But that's the best way to limit your digital footprint. Stop giving out information online. And I'm talking about input boxes, the works, not just saying it verbally on a video or some shit.
What does this have to do with psychological warfare?
because they use that against you. They collect your data and then they find out what makes you tick, what you're into, all these things. Also, if you're using, like, for instance, if you have like encryption going, like, for instance, like a VPN, makes it much fucking harder for them to get that information. Now, with that being said, there are still tools out there that they use that you don't even have to click on it.
That's right.
If it gets sent to you, you're fucked.
Mhm.
It's immediately in your phone. You don't even have to open the fucking message. I know this because I've seen them, and it's fucking insane. So be mindful of that. But the thing is, and there's nothing you can do about that. That's the downside. But the thing is, using a VPN, or what I was going to say about the messaging app, instead of just downloading some random messaging app, if you put your phone on a VPN, that actually pretty much works damn near the fucking same as using one of these messaging apps for the most part. Now, is it more secure? It is in different ways, but at the same time, it's also less secure because obviously it's not an encrypted message now you're sending out. It's just inside of your own VPN. So in a way, it is secure, but it's also less secure. It's like you remove one thing, you're just replacing it with another, and just like switch out. So there's that, and then also basically diversify what you consume.
Mm.
Like, do not get all of your news from one source. If you're someone who watches CNN all the time, go watch something else for like 2 weeks. Anything else. And if they're just saying the same bullshit as the other one, okay, well then you can make a note and go, okay, well these two are saying the same thing. Let's go check out this other one. And then look into that. But you also have to remember, if it's a mainstream media outlet, you can go YouTube this right now or look it up. I'm sure you can look it up on X too, where there's a compilation video where they take every single fucking news outlet
Oh yeah.
on the left and the right. It doesn't matter your political position. They're all saying the same shit and they play them all at the same time. That should be very alarming to everyone. If you're not aware of that, well, you just got told. Go watch it. And then rethink where you're getting your information from. And then the last one, but not least, is just stay fucking calm. Like, if something is happening around you, don't let someone else's actions or something happening around you change what decisions you're going to make and your mood. Always like reinforce in your head, like, you know what? This isn't worth getting mad about. This isn't worth getting stressed out about. This isn't worth doing this about. Like, I'm still going to live and wake up tomorrow morning.
Mhm.
Let's take a breath, take a step back. That, because fear is a weapon. They use fear as a weapon. And it only works if you let it. And, same with like, now it's one thing if they're using some type of frequency device and it just overrides your programming. Well, fight it. So yeah, so that was my kind of like what you can do type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a whole lot.
There really isn't. It's all about just education, right? Understanding that most of the things on the internet are meant to make you scared and click and watch and eyes on. Most of these things are meant to make you not want to follow a certain ideal. So just focus up, stay smart. I know you got this. I believe in you. Don't follow for the masses. Don't follow for the scary talks. Everything's good. Everything's all right. We're going to make it. We're going to do this. Right?
Yep.
I don't fucking know.
So I threw something in here that I didn't tell you about, that I was going to give in 2024 example of something that's scary and shocking.
Give it to me.
In psychological warfare. So I'm going to read this here. Sorry, I feel like I'm about to burp. So I'm like,
Let it
buying
rip.
time. That was a little baby burp. There we go. Okay, so in 2024, a particularly alarming development in psychological warfare is the use of advanced artificial intelligence to create extremely realistic deepfake videos for propaganda purposes. So,
Yeah, well.
a very striking example involves Olga. I hope I say this lady's name right. Olga Loyik, I don't know how to say the name. A 21-year-old Ukrainian YouTuber and University of Pennsylvania student who discovered that her identity had been cloned by Chinese Russian propaganda campaigns using sophisticated AI technology, advanced AI, what it's evolved to now. And they got her likeness. Her likeness was manipulated to produce videos where she appeared to promote the Chinese-Russian alliance and endorse Russian products, all while speaking fluent Mandarin, a
What?
language she doesn't even fucking know.
What?
Yep. So these AI-generated videos have surfaced in over 4,900 instances across 35 accounts. We're talking about just her. I'm not talking about like every deepfake video out there. I'm just talking about her. 4,900 instances across 35 accounts. And this is just highlighting the extent of that disinformation campaign, right? And so this incident basically just like underscores a much broader trend where state actors employ AI to craft convincing yet entirely fabricated content, aiming to manipulate public perception and basically create, discord.
More fear.
Yep, the sophistication of these deepfake videos makes it really fucking difficult for people to discern truth from fabrication, and posing significant it straight up poses a whole bunch of significant threats to information technology, or sorry, information integrity, trust, the works. Basically these experts emphasize that the urgent need for comprehensive strategies to combat such sophisticated misinformation tactics as traditional methods of verifying authenticity becomes extremely less effective against these more advanced versions of the AI generated content. So I made sure to pull that together to throw this in here, because the playing field that we are on when it comes to psychological warfare, this is different than it was 10 years ago. This is different than it was 5 years ago. This is different than what it was all throughout history. Literally, as soon as as early as literally just a few years ago, that's how much of a difference it is between then and now, mainly because of the advancement in technology. So now they're not having to use psychological warfare and the old school methods that they knew how to do. They still use them. They still do those methods, but now their arsenal for manipulation and psychological mayhem is such a vast fucking arsenal of weaponry that they have at their disposal right now, and it's all due to technological advancements between AI and not even just AI. We're talking about being very efficient at writing algorithms and coding. You don't even necessarily have to make an AI. You can just make a badass fucking algorithm and it can do a bunch of wild shit. But you bring AI into the mix, well, that's a whole different fucking game.
So
It's
be
beyond that.
be prepared. Be ready for a lot of deep fakes and a lot of people that in your day-to-day life that be
Mhm.
speaking other languages and saying things that you don't think that they would ever say.
Yeah. But with that being said, sir, do you have any AI videos?
Do I have any AI videos?
Yeah, generated of you.
No.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do. No,
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I don't.
Oh.
See what I did there,
I was
folks?
gonna say, oh God, what did it say? Oh God, oh God, oh God. Put the stream.
He stood there and said that cheese is good for your butt.
It's definitely not for mine.
Not for mine, dude. Not for mine.
But is that what are we calling it? Is that it?
No, I was just throwing that in there because now I'm going to just kind of talk about more regulatory type things of psychology and.
I'm going for about 2 hours now.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
Have we really been going for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Holy shit! I see what time it is. Damn.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun and you argue. I love arguing though. Like the fact that we got to have that disagreement, it got me more jazzed up.
Oh, me too. It was fantastic.
I know. I love it. I love it so much.
That's good news.
That was pretty gay, dude.
No, it was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, it was good. But after everything we talked about, I mean, we haven't really gotten anyone talking in the chat or anything. But if there's anything, if anyone's actually like intently listening right now, if you know of any kind of things you've experienced, or let's say you just have your own opinion on the things we were fucking talking about, um, share it with us, or how I was right in the argument with Evan over
Or
here,
how I was right in the argument.
or how Evan was really wrong in the argument.
Well, let me just say this. There's no right or wrong in that argument. One of us is right. One of us is right again. Either way, somebody is going to be right. And I know that it's not Ben. So
I know that it's not
it-
Ben.
if you're on the side of the people, then you're on my side. And that's just how that's going to go. Sorry to tell you, Ben. Sorry to tell you. And with that, I think it's time to close it out. Don't you think? Don't you agree?
I just told you all the time. You're like, oh, cool. And then you're just like, oh, I want to close it out.
Do you not agree?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Please give me a reason why we should close out.
Ni hao zai shan bo po.
I didn't do it. I didn't see that one coming.
That was AI.
that was
Now,
AI,
ladies and
dude.
gentlemen, if you just saw me speak Mandarin, that was AI. I swear I did not say hello, goodbye, grandma. So that was AI.
Sorry,
That was AI. Ben said he had an AI video of me, and that was just it.
It's so seamless.
It was perfect. It was wild. Same clothes, same hat, same facial expression. It was amazing, truly. Ni hao zheng pai.
What are you even saying? Those actual words?
Yeah, I'm saying hello, goodbye, grandma.
Oh, you were actually saying
Yeah.
words, and like you weren't just doing the sounds of things you've heard. Kind of.
No,
people
I'm saying
say in-
ni hao is hello in Mandarin,
Dude, I don't know Mandarin.
and
Come on,
Saijian is goodbye, and poo poo is grandmother.
listen. You put like Python in front of me, I got you. You put that in front of me, I'm gonna go. The fuck is that?
Well, whenever we go to war with China, I'll be on the battlefield just saying ni hao zheng zhan, ni hao zhai shan. Hello, goodbye.
Hello, goodbye, bye, bye. So stop shooting. Oh, that's great. Yeah, okay, that's fine. No, we've been going a while. We should close out, but I will leave you guys with this, and it's about psychological warfare. So, like we had said before, we had dropped several different names of different programs and episodes we talked about, which was Project Pandora. Did we even say MK Ultra?
I don't think so. No.
Oh my god, we didn't. We were talking about psychological warfare, and we didn't even say MK Ultra. Oh my god. So we have a whole deep dived episode on MK Ultra. It's a very real fucking thing. And they never stopped doing it. The
Yeah.
program under that name may have died, but a new one it's the whole thing. You cut off one head, another one grows back, and it's from the same carcass.
Starfish, baby.
Talking about making out.
Why would a starfish be making out, Ben?
Every time I think of starfish, I think of when I was like 11 years old. I remember I caught my brother making out with his girlfriend, and then I was just like, he told me for like the millionth time, he's like, well, if you're friends with a girl, this is what you do. I was just like, or no, I was way younger than 11. I was like, shit, I was like 6. And I just remember being told by my mother, because she didn't want me being influenced by my brother in any way. She was just like, she's like, remember when we were at the beach last year? And I'm like, yeah. And she was just like, well, you remember how there was those starfish that we found? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you know how it's like rough and coarse its arms are? I'm like, yeah. And she was like, that's what it's like making out with people. You don't do that. It's gross and it hurts. And I was like, oh god damn, I don't want to make out with a starfish.
Can we talk about how? Can we talk about Limp Bizkit real quick and why they're no longer and why they are not a stiff biscuit, and they have the chocolate starfish. I mean, come on, grow up, be a stiff biscuit, be a regular starfish, and don't drink that hot dog flavored water, dude. I mean, come on, You want a Limp Biscuit? I want stiff biscuits, baby. I don't want no biscuit that's been soggy and wet from who knows, God knows what, probably hot dog water. And you know what? I know Limp Biscuit's a weird, sexy thing, a weird sex thing. I don't want to be a part of that by any means, but give me a nice biscuit. Give me a nice cookie, dude. I want to eat a cookie now.
Oh, dude,
I don't know where I was going with this, but now I got a cookie on my mind. I got a Limp Biscuit Fred Durst on my mind.
Wait, does that? Oh, never mind. I got nothing.
That's so tight. That's so tight. All right, can we end?
Yeah,
Can we end the show now?
Did you know that trying to outsmart the government's psychological tricks is like bringing a salad to a barbecue?
All right,
You'll feel good about it, but it's not winning anyone over. Dude.
And ladies and gentlemen,
Not.
this has been Smartly Uneducated. Power to the people. Stay smart.
Dude, I hope someone does a deep fake of me. That'd be cool.
Oh fuck, we're not leaving.
Nope, I did it intentionally because you tried to force your way out.
Neo Sunshine.
You can't use your fear mongering and fear and psychological warfare on me, sir.
How do you say it in Hindi? Hilo
Don't.
Orvida.
Oh, dude, you gotta stop that. You gotta stop that. Anyways,
I wonder what I'm saying and how it translates, and people who actually speak it are like, "Oh my god, what is he saying?"
oh my god, dude, I don't even know what the fuck's going on right now. I'm gonna do every fucking podcast talking like this, every fucking episode going forward. This is how I'm gonna talk, just like this.
I won't be here for the next one then.
What are you talking about? I'm just gonna call you on the phone and be like, "What you calling me for?" Ah,
Oh.
that's what you're gonna do. I'm gonna tape my phone to that microphone. I'm gonna tape it there, and I'll even put you know what? Fuck it, I'll put a mannequin there and just like cut out the back part of the head and shove the phone through, and just poke some holes. So I'll have the mannequin's head right up close to there. Boom. Put a hat on it, shave my pubes, slap it on its face. Boom, we got an Evan.
Hey. My beard looks nicer than pubes. I'll tell you that right now. Although Ben's trying to psychologically manipulate all you to think that my beard's not great. Those of you over here in the audio listening space, you're hearing the sound of my voice on the frequency waves 432 hertz. My name is Evan, and I have a beautiful, luxurious, soft beard.
Yep.
That's not true. It's fucking coarse as hell.
Have you
Am I
ever,
kidding?
have you ever wanted to be taller in your life? Like you
No.
just woke up one morning and like, man, why am I so fucking short?
No.
Well, you're in luck. If you woke up and you felt short today, you go right down to your local fucking pharmacy, preferably a CVS or a Walgreens. Go down there. And then you go down, I think it's like on the other side, like near the fucking nasal spray and shit. Go over there, and what you're going to find is absolutely fucking nothing. Go buy some alcohol and drink your pain away. You short piece of shit. I'm a short guy.
Just gonna say, you're not very tall.
Dude, I'm so tall. You don't know how tall I am. I'm at least this big.
How tall are you, Ben?
This big.
Give me a number. How tall are you?
You know numbers are hard.
How tall are you? What are you so scared of?
Are we doing this in centimeters?
Sure. People can do math. Can you do that math that fast?
Oh, the camera's on me.
Come on, Ben. What's the problem? Tell people the number, how tall you are.
3,000 centimeters.
Manipulated.
Anyways, that's all we got for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. You guys have a good night.
Later, everybody. Bye-bye.
Fingers on the trigger, they pull without a sound. Behind the glass towers, we're buried underground. Secrets in the shadows, locked inside the mind. MK Ultra memories don't keep us blind. Static on the screen, voices we don't see. Dumpers got us wired, but we're breaking free. They're watching, they're waiting.